The little girl sat on the edge of her bed, her knees drawn up to her chest. She was crying silently, her tears dripping onto the worn carpet. She had been crying for hours, but she couldn't seem to stop. Her name was Sarah, and she was only 10 years old. She had been living in an orphanage for as long as she could remember. She didn't know her real parents, and she had never had a home of her own. Sarah was a quiet and shy girl. She didn't have many friends at the orphanage, and she often felt lonely. She longed for a family to love her and take care of her. One day, a new family came to the orphanage. They were looking for a child to adopt, and they seemed very nice. Sarah immediately felt a connection with them, and she hoped that they would choose her. The family spent some time with Sarah, getting to know her. They asked her about her likes and dislikes, and they listened to her stories. Sarah told them about her life at the orphanage, and she told them how much she wanted a home of her own. The family seemed to be very interested in Sarah, and she was starting to feel hopeful. But then, they told her that they had decided to adopt another child. Sarah was heartbroken. She had thought that she had finally found a family, but she had been wrong. Sarah went back to her room and cried herself to sleep. She didn't know what she was going to do. She didn't want to stay at the orphanage anymore, but she didn't know where else she could go. The next day, Sarah was sitting in the common room when she saw the family again. They were talking to the director of the orphanage, and they looked very upset. Sarah went over to them and asked them what was wrong. The family told Sarah that they had just found out that their other child had a serious illness. They would have to take their child to the hospital, and they wouldn't be able to adopt another child for a long time. Sarah was shocked. She couldn't believe that this was happening. She had finally found a family that wanted her, but now they were going to be taken away from her. Sarah started to cry again. She cried for a long time, and she didn't know what to do. She felt like her whole world was falling apart. The family came over to Sarah and hugged her. They told her that they were sorry for what was happening, and they said that they would never forget her. Sarah hugged the family back. She knew that she would never forget them either. They had given her hope, and they had shown her that there was still love in the world. Sarah left the orphanage a few days later. She went to live with a foster family, and she started to go to a new school. It was hard at first, but she eventually made some friends. Sarah never forgot the family that had almost adopted her. She thought about them often, and she wondered what had happened to their other child. She hoped that they were all doing well. Sarah grew up to be a kind and compassionate woman. She always remembered the pain of feeling unwanted, and she made it her mission to help other children who were in the same situation. She worked as a social worker, and she helped to find homes for children who were in need. Sarah never forgot the love that the family had shown her, and she was determined to pay it forward. She knew that there were other children out there who were just as lonely and scared as she had been, and she wanted to help them find the love and happiness that she had found.